Welcome to this session of Business Boosters, where we help you unlock the power of technology to drive your business forward. I'm John Horner. Today we're going to talk about metrics that matter. Metrics, KPIs, or key performance indicators, are an incredibly valuable tool. Very powerful. It allows you to set expectations with individual team members, within teams, and within your organization as to what success looks like. By creating metrics and making them visible, people are able to see, am I succeeding? Am I doing what it takes in order to be successful in my role? By creating metrics that align across your teams and across multiple teams, you can create alignment of people taking action towards success throughout your organization. Incredibly powerful. Yet, with great power, remember the responsibility part. I'm going to provide a few tips today that will help you define and use metrics in a powerful yet responsible way. The first aspect of this is the idea of paired measures. Success in life often requires focusing on more than one aspect of what you're doing at a time. And I'll provide a few specific examples now. The first is when defining metrics, there are activities and there are outcomes. Think of sports. The scoreboard is the outcome. Well, what are the activities that you're taking in order to be successful? It's the same within most jobs. If I think about a sales role, how many new customers do we get? What revenue do we generate? Those are the scoreboard numbers, or the outcomes. Those are lagging indicators. You normally don't know if you're successful until after you put all the work in. So it's important to recognize the leading indicators. What are the activities? How many phone calls did I make? How many proposals did I put out? What did I do in order to take the action needed toward success? So it's important when defining your indicators to have both leading and lagging indicators. Another area where you would have paired metrics is when you want to make sure that you're not driving people too much in one direction versus the other. Speed and accuracy are a very common one, where you may have productivity goals. How much did you get accomplished? How many widgets did you create? If that's all you have, you run the risk of having quality issues or accuracy problems. So it's good when focusing on one area could have an impact on another that's negative, that you pair those two together. Another example is innovation and risk. Too much innovation can create too much risk, and vice versa. Too much risk control can prevent innovation. So if you have metrics around that, it's good to pair them. Whenever you have metrics that relate to each other where one could influence the other in a negative way. Once you've defined your metrics, now it's important to run a few tests. And the first is what I'll call the high five test, which is, can your team members provide a high five after they were successful? Well, first off, think of these like SMART goals, SMART KPIs. Is it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound? In order to give a high five, it must be something that you can, am I giving the high five at the end of the day? Am I proud of it? Can I accomplish it? If all of these things are true, then you should be able to just very quickly, yes, I know that this team can give each other high fives or pounds at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, because they've accomplished their goal. So the high five test is the first test. Second test is the lazy bureaucrat test. This comes from Dan Heath in Upstream. He provides a lot of great examples of measures gone wrong. Specifically, in one case, he talks about a city that was trying to reduce crime. So it ends up they reduce crime rates by downgrading offenses. Instead of arresting people for the actual offense, it was a downgraded offense, a warning. So it looked like crime was better, but it really wasn't. This happens in business all the time, especially when financial incentives or livelihood are at stake. So think to yourself, how might someone want to game the system? Put yourself in that lazy bureaucrat's shoes and say, what would I do? If it passes that test, well, at least you'll know how people might game the system and you'll be aware of it. And then there are a number of other dangers. Tunnel vision. It motivates action to have metrics, but are you solely focused on areas that will not be successful if they don't look at other areas of their roles or responsibilities? Make sure your KPIs cover that, or that you're otherwise considering how to prevent tunnel vision. Demotivation, if people can't achieve their goals, if they're not empowered to, if they're not sure how to succeed, or they're confused about what the KPIs are, it can be very demotivating. KPI overload, too many metrics can cause your brain to explode and not to be able to focus on any one thing. Garbage in, garbage out, or GIGO as I call it, can be very dangerous because, one, it's demotivating. If I'm measuring people and it's not the right data, well, either that opens up the opportunity for excuses, or I'm thinking things are true that are not. In either case, that's very dangerous. So you need to make sure that you have great quality data. And last is the lack of subjective analysis can cause problems, because if all I look at is the data, I miss the context. Doesn't mean that the subjective analysis should create excuses. It does mean that you should consider the context when making decisions based on that data. So thank you very much, and look forward to future episodes. Have a great day.